atmospheric. The Mandalorian Season 2 has been busy, giving fans a Gozanti-class cruiser full of fan-favorite characters. Boba Fett, Bo-Katan Kryze, and the much-anticipated live-action debut of Ahsoka Tano. But it looks like another longtime Star Wars fan favorite is about to complete the jump to live action.
Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?
If you didn't watch Star Wars Rebels or read the Timothy Zahn books, you might not understand why this name drop was such a big deal. So strap yourselves in and get ready to punch it. Here's what makes Grand Admiral Thrawn such a fearsome and unique Star Wars villain. Emperor Sheev, the Senate Palpatine's empire, only functions if he's got a few good commanders he can delegate the whole keeping the galaxy in line thing to. And no Imperial commander has enforced Sheev's will better than Grand Admiral Thrawn, a ruthless military leader with an almost superhuman gift for understanding and outwitting his foes. If Thrawn didn't go MIA just before the events of A New Hope, the war between the Empire and the Rebel Alliance might have turned out very differently. But that doesn't mean Thrawn won't still be a threat to the New Republic when he does make his eventual comeback.
Colonel, listen to me carefully.
Grand Admiral Thrawn originally debuted in the 1991 novel Star Wars: Heir to the Empire, now relegated to Expanded Universe/Legends. But even now, Thrawn remains among the most popular and enduring Star Wars characters who hasn't appeared in a movie. Thrawn is a Chiss. The blue skin and red eyes are defining physical characteristics for these denizens of the unknown regions. Thrawn's people formed the Chiss Ascendancy, an oligarchy ruled by a handful of powerful noble families, but Thrawn himself was born to a low-class family. As a child, Thrawn was adopted into a powerful family and given the name Mithra Nurudu, and since that's super hard to pronounce, he usually just goes by Thrawn. He distinguished himself in the Chiss defense fleet through a number of military victories, even though his arrogance made him plenty of enemies and eventually got him exiled by his own people, or so his story goes. The consummate survivor, Thrawn almost immediately found a new home in Papa Sheev's galactic empire, quickly rising through the ranks to become a Grand Admiral and becoming perhaps the single greatest threat to a burgeoning Rebel alliance. Thrawn's meteoric rise came with the same personal conflicts as before, and more than once, Thrawn has been forced to choose between his loyalty to his own people and the Empire.
The rebels have won this battle, but the war will be ours.
Thrawn's expanded universe appearances are non-canon in the Disney era. Most of his in-canon story is told in one of two forms, in Star Wars Rebels and through a new series of canon novels by author Timothy Zahn, the same guy who created Thrawn in the EU a long time ago in an alternate galaxy far, far away. 2017's Star Wars Thrawn kicked off a full trilogy of books shedding light on Thrawn's early years in the Empire and his relationships with characters like Anakin Skywalker and later Darth Vader, Governor Arinda Pryce, and Imperial Cadet Eli Vanto. Marvel Comics also adapted the first novel into its own limited series. Zahn is now penning the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy, delving back further into the timeline, exploring a young Thrawn's rise through the ranks of the Chiss Defense Force. Perhaps the biggest revelation to come out of Zahn's recent Thrawn books is the reveal that Thrawn wasn't actually exiled by the Chiss. He's basically a spy for his people, tasked with infiltrating the Empire to see if its military could threaten or align with the Chiss Ascendancy. In Star Wars Rebels, Thrawn plays a key role in attempting to quell a dangerous rebel cell on Lothal. Like I said, attempting. Rebels ends with Thrawn and the Jedi Ezra Bridger disappearing off into hyperspace, the maker knows where. If Thrawn and Ezra survived, they'd be in play at the same time as the Mandalorian. Plus, this explains where either character was during the Galactic Civil War.
And remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Like all Chiss, Thrawn has enhanced senses, acute hearing, he can see infrared light, but his mind is his true superpower. Thrawn might be the most gifted military commander in the entire galaxy, with a knack for taking on seemingly insurmountable opponents and handily defeating them through clever strategy alone. He's an art fiend, and he uses his hobby to anticipate and outthink his adversaries. He loves to contemplate the art and culture of his enemies, allowing him to understand how they think, feel, and react in life or death situations, and his track record speaks for itself.
Whatever happens next, happens to both of us.
Thrawn's current status quo is a mystery. Neither Thrawn nor Ezra has popped up since the Rebels finale, a finale that ended with Sabine Wren venturing into the unknown regions with Ahsoka Tano to find them after the fall of the Emperor. Well, Mostly Ezra, but Thrawn too. With Ahsoka's Thrawn name drop in The Mandalorian, it's probably safe to assume Lucasfilm has major plans for the Chiss mastermind. The Empire is a shadow of its former self, warlords like Moff Gideon clinging to power and possibly even trying to restore Palpatine to life. Thrawn could resurface in this post-Return of the Jedi era, ready and willing to rally the Imperial remnant into an effective fighting force. That is, if he doesn't murder them all first. Thrawn's return could also give fans further insight into how exactly the dying Empire transforms into the First Order. He could become a key player in the First Order. At least a handful of high-ranking officers were at least partially aware of Palpatine's endgame, so it stands to reason Thrawn would also be a member of that exclusive club. As for where he'll pop up next, your guess is as good as ours. Might be getting set up as a new villain in The Mandalorian or the rumored Future series. Lucasfilm has several live-action projects in the works, and Thrawn could pop up in any of them. But what do you think? When will Grand Admiral Thrawn pop up again? Let's talk it over in the comments. Thanks for watching, and for more Star Wars, check out the secret behind the Jedi's mission. It's actually Thrawn. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.
Ah!